What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today I'm partnering up with Mooncat to show you their newest collection, which is called Danse Macabre. Now if you haven't heard of Mooncat before, they are a nail polish brand based in the US, and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. And they just released this new Danse Macabre collection, which is 8 new shades, and they're kind of this Black Swan inspired vibe. So we have an interesting mix of these more soft, neutral, ballet sort of shades, but then we also have these really intense, deeper tones. And we have a variety of finishes as well. We've got shimmers, we've got holo, we've got magnetics, we even have a color changing thermal. Also, I love when Mooncat does a theme that I have a shirt that kind of matches, because I feel like this is giving a little bit of like a Black Swan vibe. But anyway, let me show you all the polishes first, then we can get into my thoughts on them, pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Mooncat base coat. And we'll start off with the lighter shades of the collection, the first of which is Pearl Clutcher, and as you could probably guess from the name, this one is a pearly white type of polish that is pretty sheer, but you can build it up to really nice coverage, and I did find that it actually covered my visible nail line in 2 coats, which was really impressive. But what I really enjoy about this shade, and I love these types of pearly polishes in general, but this one really spoke to me because it has a little bit of a cooler undertone to it than what I usually see in these types of polishes. I feel like there's a very strong, almost bluish green undertone to it, but of course you can also see some purple and pink around the edges and at certain angles, but I just really appreciated the different tone of this one. I'm actually curious to see a lot of my pearl polishes side by side, so if you're interested in a video of that, let me know in the comments. And then we have the shade The Living Doll, and this one is a super sheer light pink jelly base that is totally packed with an iridescent blue shimmer. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I know a lot of people do not like this type of polish, but I will never get enough of it. I think it looks so absolutely stunning and ethereal. I thought this looked beautiful in 2 coats, but just out of curiosity, I did pop on a third, and I think it looked perfect either way. It definitely has that soft sheerness to it regardless, but it kind of feels like your naked nails, but better. And getting that beautiful subtle blue glow in there just really adds to it as well. And then you can kind of pick how intense you want that pinky color to be, whether you want to do 2 or 3 coats. Next up we have the shade Heart on a Platter, which is a deep red shimmer hollow polish, and I was really excited about this one because I love a super juicy red hollow. I'm a huge fan, and this color is absolutely stunning. You can see it looks a little bit brighter in the first coat, but it deepened up really beautifully in the second, and it just has such a beautiful, intense glow to it. You can definitely see the hollow sparkle, but it's a lot more pronounced in sunlight or direct lighting. I always find that red hollow is the most subtle to my eye, but I still think you can see that beautiful rainbow in there, and it's very gorgeous. And then we have the shade Hell is Other People, and this is actually what I'm wearing on my nails right now and in the intro and outro of this video, and I'm actually wearing 1 coat of this on my nails because it is super opaque. But one thing I was really excited about when I saw this, when I first saw it in the bottle, I thought it was just gonna be like a very basic linear hollow, but this is actually this like deep eggplant purple linear hollow that also has a duochrome purple iridescent shimmer in it that shifts between a cooler toned purple and a warmer toned purple. So it really adds so much dimension to the polish, and you can see all that extra sparkle. Kind of reminds me of like a night sky, but in a purpley way, and I think this is incredible. And then we have Requiem for a Swan, and this one to me is the showstopper of the collection, and honestly, I do not think my camera did this one justice, but it is so beautiful in real life, and I feel like that just does not translate in pictures or video. But we have this jelly black base, and then we have these silver metallic flakes running throughout, as well as a hollow sparkle, and this is just an unreal combination. I feel like I have not seen anything like this before. It's just so beautiful. It has so much dimension because of that jelly finish, and then in addition to the sparkle that you get with the hollow in direct lighting, you can also have the sparkle of the silver flakies with indirect lighting lighting. So it's just a beautiful shade no matter where you're wearing it. Now moving on to the two magnetic shades. The first is Clair de Lune, and this one is a really beautiful dusty orchid purple base. You can see it's a really nice light color. It was actually super opaque. I think that I could get away with magnetizing the second coat, but what I like to do for consistency's sake is I'll usually just apply 2 coats for regular opacity on my nails, and then I will apply a third coat to magnetize. So that's just what I'm doing in these swatches. But again, these are super opaque, so I do think that I could just do 1 coat for opacity and then a second for magnetization. Now I am starting with the velvet style. I did get some feedback from you guys on my last video that you'd like to see the velvet style with the horseshoe magnet, which I can definitely do in the future, but in the meantime, this one looks absolutely beautiful in this style. It kind of creates this 3-dimensional glassy effect where it pulls all of that silvery pigment to the top, and then you get this beautiful purpley undertone. But what really wowed me was seeing this one in the cat eye style. I did not expect to love this one as much as I did, but the line of magnetization was so sharp. It left behind this perfect, beautiful, dusty purple color, and it really felt like a glass bead or a marble on my nails. I just think that this specific magnetic formula was so incredible. And then we have the Silent Scream. This is the other magnetic. So this one actually looks like a gunmetal silver just when you apply it without magnetization, which by the way, both of these very beautiful unmagnetized, but I do think that they're especially beautiful when you magnetize them. And again, this one gave me 1 coat coverage, but I did end up still doing the same 2 coats for opacity and then a third coat to magnetize. And again, starting off with the velvet style, just pulling all of that silvery pigment to the top. And I think that the magnetic pigment in these 2 polishes is finer than I usually see in brands, because there is something about these that feel even more velvety than usual, and it gives a very smooth, glassy finish, which I think is absolutely stunning. And once again, trying it in the cat eye style actually revealed a really intense black jelly base and that beautiful silvery white line, so it really intensified the manicure, and it does give a really beautiful cosmic sort of feel, but again, very glassy, very velvety kind of vibes. And then last but not least, we have the Doppelganger, and this one is actually a color changing thermal polish. So on the first coat, I thought that this one was going to be a little bit sheer. It ended up really giving nice coverage in the second coat, but I always get nervous when it comes to thermal polishes because usually the lighter shade is the warmer tone, and I tend to see that more often. So I like to just apply an extra coat in case that one is a little bit more sheer. So I did end up doing 3 coats, but this is a really beautiful color, another beautiful purple. So when it's in its warm state, it's this soft, dusty mauve kind of purple with a really intense shimmer in there. And then when it's cold, it shifts into this very intense, cool toned royal purple. And I do love that shimmer in there. I feel like I would never have expected this color to be a thermal, but it ends up being really beautiful. And you know me, a purple to purple is always going to be a winner in my eyes. So here are all the polishes together, and I think it's just such a cool color story seeing that descent from like these beautiful, soft, light ballet kind of colors into these really intense, deep, almost evil kind of colors. So really cool concept for a nail polish collection, and I think it actually works out really well. But what I really enjoy about it, and something I've been really enjoying lately, is when collections are kind of split in half so that you get a little bit for everyone, where if you're a person who likes lighter, brighter shades, you can get your kind of colors. If you're a person who likes the deeper, vampier shades, then you've got your colors here. And as a person who loves both, I'm just happy to get both of them. So yeah, but overall, really impressed with the formulas as well. The brush is super beginner friendly and easy to use. I will say thermals in general tend to be a little bit thicker, so just something to keep in mind, but these are all very opaque shades. I was really impressed with the opacity. I was really impressed with the way that they applied. So I do think overall it is a very beginner friendly collection. But yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So those are the polishes, and I have to say I really enjoyed this collection. I found it to be surprisingly cohesive, just especially with that color scheme. I thought it was going to be a little bit more disjointed, but really having that heavier focus on like the pinky purpley kind of shades themes really impressed me, and I might be biased in that because purple is my favorite color to wear on my nails, but I thought that was really cool. I really appreciated all the different types of finishes they have here, and I really loved this concept of these polishes going from very light and pure into this more dark, evil kind of vibe. I thought that was just a really cool theme for a collection. Mooncat is just one of those brands that comes up with themes that I think are so interesting and unique, and it's definitely an interesting choice for autumn, but I think it actually works really well, and I think a lot of these colors also carry over very well into the winter season too. So yeah, this collection was a big thumbs up from me, but I am curious to hear your thoughts. Now let's get into pricing and availability. All of these polishes come in 12 milliliter bottles. They do feature a wide flat brush that has a rounded tip, so application super easy, and the price does vary based on the finish, but the polishes in this collection range between $16 and $18 USD each, or you can get the full set of polishes for $119 USD. So I'm gonna link that all down below in the description. You can check them out if you're interested, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this theme? What do you think of the color story? And what do you think of all these different types of finishes? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. I have another funny would you rather question for fall. This is so dumb, but like in the best way. Would you rather, I didn't make this up by the way, would you rather have a squirrel that follows you around everywhere you go, or a crow that always announces your arrival everywhere you go? And honestly, this is kind of a tough question because it would be fun to have just like a little squirrel to hang out with all the time, but I feel like a crow, like just a crow on my shoulder is kind of a vibe, you know? Like what would the crow follow? I assume the crow would follow me around every time I go anywhere because it's announcing my arrival, but does that mean it's not around if I'm like home hanging out, whereas the squirrel would be? I don't know. I feel like my gut instinct is to have the crow because it's not like I'm ever somewhere where I don't want, where I want it to be a secret that I'm there. I guess actually that's not true when I'm in public, but if I'm like at a social hangout, it's not like I want to be hiding in the corner. Like I want to, you know, have my friends know that I'm there. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards crow though, because I feel like it would just be fun to have a crow friend, but it would also be fun to have a squirrel friend. Honestly, I would be fine with either, but I guess I'm gonna lock in crow. So let me know your answer down in the comments, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.